Akwaaba, and welcome back. Welcome back to myself. First time I'm back on the mat for 2, 3 weeks, I think. Have enjoyed some time in Ghana. So yeah, I hope everyone's been keeping well. If it's the first time you're tuning in or watching back on playback, my name is Mark, and yeah, I'm gonna go through a 25-minute flow today. Looking forward to it. This time last week, I was enjoying a bit of yoga on the by the beach, but hope some of you are able to catch up with the pre-record I put on. But yeah, let's get cracking. Good to see you, D man and Queen P. You've both been doing some cracking bits. Queen P out in Ghana as well, I saw. But yeah, let's get started. Let's start on our feet today. You know, D man, you've been doing a lot of running recently, so we'll be really moving the body for the next 25 minutes to help open up the hips before coming to stillness at the end. Let's just take our feet hip distance apart. Turn and face the palms up to start. I'm going to come into our breath, just roll the shoulders back so our chest is slightly forward. I'd like to close the eyes here. Let's just start to feel the floor, the mats underneath our feet. Maybe start to massage the floor with our toes so we really feel grounded and rooted. Let's take a deep inhale in through the nose, nice long breath. Let the chest rise and sigh it out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in. And exhale. On the next breath in, start to raise the shoulders up to the ears. And on the exhale, I'm going to flip the palms over, so they're facing down, bend the knees, and exhale to come down. Inhale to drop the energy from the ground. Exhale, flip the palms over once again. Press any negative thought, any negative emotion down. And again, inhale to draw up. Exhale to bend. Let's come up. Inhale to draw up. Exhale to release. So what we're doing here by coming into this movement is taking note of how we're able to connect our breath to our movement. So on the inhale, we're leveling out through the legs. And on the exhale, bending down, pushing any negative energy down to the ground. 2 more. Last round. Exhale to bend. And hold it there for a count of 3, count of 2, count of 1. Inhale to draw up. And exhale to release the arms down to the side. We're just come into some movement in the torso of the upper body. Let the arms just be loose as we twist the body from left to right. The arms can just flap out to the side, step in different parts of the torso, the back, side of the ribs, maybe the glutes, the butt cheeks. So moving with a sense of freedom here. The arms are free. We're just twisting from the hips. For counts of 3, 2, 1. Slowly stop and come back towards center. You can keep your feet just beyond hip distance or bring them in should you wish. Now I'm going to come into the upper body. Just find some movement in the shoulders, the rotator cuff. This isn't necessarily yoga, this one now. This is just a stretch to warm up the upper body. Just bring the palms into prayer at the center of the belly. On the inhale, pressing the prayer forward and up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, open the palms up towards the sky. So you bring the hands down and come back towards center. And again, inhale to press forward and up. And exhale to come down. Bring the hands back towards the center of the belly. Let's go for another 3. Number 2. And again, number 1. Let the arms hang loose. This time I'm going to tuck the elbows into the ribs, face the palms up towards the ceiling. Your hands are start of that parallel to one another. Just bring the hands in so they touch, and then take the arms out, maybe point out towards the sides of the thumbs. Keep the elbows tucked in, and then bring the hands back in. So again, all we're doing here is finding space in the upper shoulder. Hands come out to the side before coming back in towards the middle. As they come in, maybe your elbows just brush the ribs. For number 3, number 2, and then number 1. Let the arms hang loose. And for the final one, for the shoulders, we're going to turn and face the back or the front. Let's place left hand first on the right pectoral or the right breast, or so you can grab the top of the shoulder. I'm just going to wind that right arm up. Have your thumb, so your thumb is exposed. So follow your thumb up on the way back and back towards the front. So again, we're just finding space in the shoulder. And keep going for another 3, number 2, number 1. And then switch and take the opposite side. So hand on the right breast or the right shoulder. Take the thumb out to the side and start by going from front to back. So just winding up through the shoulder. Finding movement. Now rotate the cuff. Another 3. I'm hearing loads of clicks and pops in my left shoulder in particular. Number 2. Number 1. Now let's all face the front of the mat. Step forwards. We're going to come into some sun salutations. The feet are hip distance apart, or bring the feet together. Toes together, heels apart. Roll the shoulders back. Face the palms forward into Tadasana. And let's go on the inhale. Draw the arms up towards the ceiling. Take the gaze up towards the prayer. On the exhale, bend from the hips to come down. Maybe take a slight bend in the knees. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees. Place the hands down. Step back of the left foot. Step back of the right. As we meet in our Kumbhakasana, our high plank. Now we can either stay here or drop onto the knees. Or stay in your high plank. What falls onto the toes. Whichever variation we're in. Going to bend into the elbows. Come down for a low plank. Press through the toes. We're going to come up either into a cobra, tucking the elbows in towards the ribs, or upward facing dog. On the exhale, lift up through the hips, curl the toes under. Let's come to our first downward facing dog. So pressing our hands into the mat, walking out through the feet, just to find a bit of movement in the calves before coming into stillness. Take a deep inhale to come up high on the toes, and on the exhale, just energetically draw the heels down towards the mat. On the next breath, let's come high on the toes once again. Jump or step forwards. Together, let's meet at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the shins, open up through the arms. Exhale to release. Let's stand tall. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Bring the hands into prayer at the top. Exhale. The hands come to the center of the chest. Let's go again for a couple more rounds. Inhale to come up. Exhale to bend from the hips to come down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees as much as we need. Place the hands down. Step back with the left foot. Step back to the right. High plank. Once again, you can drop down onto the knees or what falls onto the toes. Bend into the elbows for a low plank. Press up into our cobra or our upward facing dog. Tucking the elbows into the ribs. And on the exhale, curl the toes under, lift up, taking the tailbone up towards the sky, the ceiling, downward facing dog. Again, listen to your body here. Might be taking a slight bend in the knees. Wherever you are, see if you can energetically draw our heels down once more. Lengthen out through the arms. On the next inhale, come up high on the toes. We're jumping the step in towards the front of the mat once again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release. Inhale to stand tall, taking the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. We go again. Inhale, take the prayer high. Standing nice and tall, drawing the belly. Exhale, bend from the hips to come all the way down. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, bend into the knees, place the hands down. Once again, step the left foot back and the right to join the left. Kumbhakasana, high plank. Maybe drop the knees down, or what falls onto the toes. Let's come into our low plank, taking a chaturanga, pressing through the toes to come up into a cobra, or our upward facing dog. Exhale, curl the toes under. Together, let's meet in our downward facing dog. One breath in, and sigh it out. Come behind the toes and jumping or stepping forwards. Let's meet once again together at the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften to release. This one, slowly wind up, one vertebra at a time. Coming back to our Tadasana, roll the shoulders back. Let's face the palms forward. Take a deep inhale in here. To regulate the breath, sigh it out. Let's feel grounded in our feet. We're going to come into a balancing pose. Let's start by taking a weight into our right foot. On the inhale, we're lifting up for our left foot. Our left sole of the foot is parallel to the floor. Taking a bend in that left knee. Brace any wobbles that might be coming into play here. Engage with the right quad. So if you're finding that you're bending that right knee, it's not a problem. If you want to straighten it out, just engage with that right quad. So you're nice and rooted through that right foot for another 3. And another 2. Another 1. And start to take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Start to come into a twist. So we might start to open that left arm out towards the back of the room. Another 2. Another 1. Come back towards center. We're going to come into Virabhadrasana 3, a warrior 3. So a seesawing the body forward, the chest comes forward, the left leg goes back. Maybe take your hands into prayer at the center of the chest or your arms into superhero arms. And then let's drop back onto our left toes. Let's get ready for our high lunge or crescent lunge. So we're coming into a bend in that right knee. We're pressing our left heel towards the back of the room to help us create length in that left leg. Maybe start with your hands on the right thigh. If you want to take a variation, feel free to drop down onto that left knee. And whether your left knee's down or you're up, let's float the arms up towards the ceiling here. So nice and tall in the torso. Here for another 3. Another 2. Another 1. Going to open up into warrior 2. So we're dropping onto that left heel. Taking the right arm forwards, the left arm back. Find your drishti point, a point of focus. Maybe at the front of the room. Maybe find a spot on the wall. or outside. Just find a point in the distance that brings you into concentration. Let's flip that right palm over and come to reverse warrior. So maybe place the left hand on the left hip. The right arm comes up towards the ceiling. And we find a stretch into the right side of the body. Stretch out the intercostal muscles before coming into side angle lunge. Side angle. Replacing our right bicep just on the inside of the right thigh. And opening up the body towards the left side of the room. Maybe the left hand goes high. Or maybe you want to wrap it around the lower back. Another 2. Another 1. Wherever we are, let's come back into our warrior 2 before cartwheeling the hands down. I'm going to drop down onto that left knee and swing that right leg back to meet the left and the back of the mat. So we're finding ourselves coming into our tabletop. Slowly start to come into Balasana, bringing the bum towards the heels, our forehead towards the floor. Some of us, it might be a bit uncomfortable. Come to this bend, you can always just press the shins to the ground to lift the bum a bit further away from the heels. If you're in discomfort, we're here for another 2. Another 1. Wherever we are, let's come back into our tabletop before lifting up the knees as we meet once again in our Kumbhakasana high plank. Let's start to walk the right hand to the center of the mat. We're going to come into our side plank here. First variation, we'll drop onto that right shin. Come onto that left heel, so bring the left heel down towards the mat. Take the weight into the right hand. Start to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. 3 or 4, 5 breaths. If you're holding your breath, let's come back into awareness of our breathing. You can hold it here for another 3. Or if you want to stack your left foot, so your left leg on top of your right, for another 2. Lifting up your hips towards the ceiling for another 1. Wherever we are, let's all meet in our Kumbhakasana. Either drop the knees down or what falls onto the toes, bend into it up into a low plank. Press through as you come up to our upward facing dog or cobra. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep inhale in once again together. And exhale out. Let's come behind the toes and jump or step forwards. Let's meet at the front of our mats. Inhale to come to a halfway lift. Exhale to release. Once again, we're slowly winding up 1 vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders back. As we meet in Tadasana, the palms are facing forwards. We're bringing awareness again to the soles of our feet. Feel the mat underneath the feet, and let's start to bring the weight this time into our left foot. As we start to lift the right leg off the ground, taking a bend in that right knee. The right sole of the foot is parallel to the floor. Again, let's engage with that left quad. So we're nice and strong in that left leg. If it helps to maintain that bend, I'll invite you to do so. Stay for 3 breaths, or start to take that left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Take the right arm back and start to open the body out towards the right side of the room for another 2. Another 1. Come back towards center before coming to our Virabhadrasana 3, our warrior 3. Floating the arms forward. The right arm, the right leg comes back, or maybe take the hands into press into the chest or into superhero arms for dropping back onto our right toes. as we come into crescent lunge on the left side. Again, we can start by taking our hands, both hands onto that left thigh. We're high on our back toes, and again, we're energetically pressing our right heel towards the back of the room. This helps us lengthen out through that right leg. As we do on the other side, we can drop down onto the right knee. We'll stay high up as we lift the arms up towards the ceiling, nice and tall in the torso. Engaging through the core for a count of 3, count of 2, and 1, before dropping onto that right heel. As we open the body up to warrior 2 on this side. So the right arm comes back, left arm goes forward. Again, we're just finding our drishti point. Just for 3 breaths here. Let's flip that left palm over. Place the right hand on the right hip and start to see sort of body up and back. Taking the left arm up towards the ceiling. Finding a stretch through our intercostal muscles on the left side. Before coming to side angle lunge on the left side. So perhaps place the left elbow on the left thigh. If you can, place it on the inside of the left thigh to help you add a bit of resistance to open the body up. Let's take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Take the gaze up towards the right hand or down to the floor for a count of 2. For a count of 1. Engage with the core as you come back up to our warrior 2 for 1 breath before we cut all the hands down. Jump that left foot back to meet the right. Let's drop down onto the knees as we meet once again in our tabletop. Slowly start to bring the hips down towards the heels. Again, listen to your body here if you need to. Just elevate the hips a little bit. Let's take a deep inhale in together and sigh it out through the mouth. On the next breath, let's come back into our tabletop. We'll meet once again in our high plank. Pressing the heels towards the back of the room. We're shifting our left hand to the center of the mat. We're going to drop down onto the left shin. Come onto that right heel, so the right side of the foot is flat on the mat now. Let's come into our first variation of side plank as you lift that right arm up towards the ceiling. Taking the gaze up towards the right hand. Or keep your gaze down towards the mat for another 4 breaths. Stay where we are or stack our right leg on top of the left for another 2. Another 1. Whichever variation we're in. Let's meet once again in our Kumbhakasana. Come into our Chaturanga. What falls onto the toes. Bend into elbows for a low plank. Inhale for our upward facing dog. Curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. Let's take another inhale in. Slowly sigh it out. Let's jump or step. Meet once again at the front of the mat. We're going to bend into the knees as much as we can. Lifting the heels up off the mat. Slowly walk the hands back towards the back of the mat. Let's go long in the legs. Just give the legs a shake. And then come to a seated forward fold before we finish. On the inhale, we're going to float the arms up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, bend from the hips to come forward as we draw our chest towards our shins. So we're aiming to keep length in our backs here. For this variation, take your hands to the outside of the shins or outside of the thighs. Maybe just down towards the mat, whatever suits your body today, suits you today. Or if you're able to grab your feet, I invite you to do so. Just drawing our chest forward, curl the toes in towards the face, so we're finding a stretch at the back of the hamstrings. Slowly start to release your hands wherever they are. Take them out to the side. And as we engage the core, we're just bringing our back down towards the mat. Let the back of the head rest on the mat. Shake the head from side to side as you massage out through the back of the skull. Take one more deep inhale in through the nose. And relax. The feet are flopping out to the side, the palms are facing the ceiling. Release any holding that might be going on here. And now feel free to sustain Shavasana, especially if you're watching this on playback. Otherwise, just bring the knees in towards the chest. Give the knees a hug in as we stretch out for the lower back. And start to rock and roll as you massage out for the left spine. Let's rock up. I'm going to come into a seated position. So having gone through a flow, hopefully prepare the body to come and embrace sitting in whatever variation of the seated position you wish to take. So again, if you're watching on playback, use this opportunity just to come to stillness, to appreciate the time you've given yourself to move your body, to connect the body to breath, to come to meditation, start to connect more with oneself. If your eyes are closed, I'd like to blink them open. And thank you very much. That's 25 minutes done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed the practice today. Again, it's good to be back on the mat. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you hopefully next week. Or again, if you're watching on playback, hope you enjoyed the session. And yeah, also I've got a couple more guest teachers in the pipeline. I met Mustafa out in Accra last week, and hopefully will be leading us through a session in a not too distant future. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. I'd love to see you again. Thanks again, Alice. Hope all is well. I'll see you next week for sure. But no, have a great week, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care now. Bye-bye.